Right after the end of the war game, Bel and Hestia were summoned to the guild's underground altar, where they encountered the ancient god Uranus. The atmosphere held a solemn weight as he expressed his gratitude for their efforts during the conflict involving the Freya Familia. Despite the recognition, his words also carried a silent warning that even greater challenges were to come. The recent victory did not represent rest, but rather the beginning of a new phase, where the Hestia Familia would become part of a turbulent era that would shape the future of the underworld. During the conversation, Hermes revealed, albeit indirectly, a grand destiny reserved for Bel. He mentioned the last of the 3 great adventurers' quests, the defeat of the Black Dragon. The silence that filled the place reflected the weight of this responsibility, making it clear that the young man could not limit his journey only to the labyrinth of Orario. To face an enemy that lay beyond the city walls, Bel would need to broaden his knowledge and experience the outside world. Hermes made it increasingly clear that he wanted to transform the boy into the hero the world expected, something Hestia understood, even if she didn't accept it without concern. The proposal for this growth came with the idea of Bel attending the school district, a place where he could learn about the world, its cultures, and its conflicts. Hermes also revealed the existence of another level 7 adventurer, someone comparable to the legendary Otter, who could serve as inspiration for Bel. The revelation surprised Hestia, who was still adapting to the realities of the underworld. Even so, she knew that Bel's path was advancing too quickly, as if history itself was pushing him toward an inevitable destiny. Later, in a private moment, Bel revealed to the goddess his willingness to accept this opportunity. Shyly, but sincerely, he admitted feeling curious and enthusiastic about the idea of attending the school district, although he was willing to give up if it caused problems for his family. Hearing this, Hestia felt the weight of seeing Bel mature, realizing that he was no longer just the boy she needed to protect. Despite her fears, she recognized that this could be a rare moment of rest and preparation before the battles that inevitably awaited him. With a sigh full of affection and resignation, she decided to respect his choice, allowing Bel to take this new step in his journey. 3 days after the decision, Bel arrived at the school district carrying an intense mix of nervousness and excitement. Inside Principal Balder's office, he put on the official uniform, an elegant white-based suit that contrasted with his usual appearance and left him visibly embarrassed. Even so, the compliments from Hermes and Balder only increased the blush on his face, making that moment even more memorable. However, the uniform was not the only change Bel needed to face. To avoid suspicion, a complete disguise was prepared. Looking at himself in the mirror, Bel could barely recognize himself. His white hair was replaced with a brown wig with long rabbit ears attached, accompanied by a small tail that completed the transformation. The bangs hid his scarlet eyes, while a special magical item slightly interfered with people's perception, making it difficult for them to recognize his true identity. The reason for such precaution was clear. After the recent events in Orario, his name had become too well known, and attending the school district as Bel Cranel would attract unwanted attention. Even understanding the need for the disguise, Bel couldn't help but feel a slight unease. He felt as if he were deceiving the people around him, but decided to go ahead, determined to take advantage of this opportunity. To complete the new identity, he received a new name, Lappy Flemish. The story created to support his presence said that he had passed the entrance exam in another city, but that, due to family circumstances, he decided to continue his studies there. As he mentally repeated the new name, Bel felt the weight of the responsibility and the lie he would need to uphold. Balder then reinforced the importance of keeping his identity and abilities secret, warning that any exposure could bring problems for everyone involved. Still, there was a light tone in his expression, as if he himself were curious to see how this new phase would shape the young adventurer. Soon after, Hermes pinned the school district crest to Bel's chest, a symbol that represented not only his admission but also the beginning of a journey completely different from what he was used to. Under the glow of that emblem, Bel's heart beat fast, torn between anxiety and anticipation for what he was about to experience. The atmosphere inside the principal's office changed when a light knock echoed on the oak door. After being granted permission to enter, a man crossed the room with firm steps and a striking presence. His lion-colored hair fell to the nape of his neck, matching his intense eyes. Tall and seemingly slender, he carried an impeccable posture that conveyed strength and confidence without needing to display it openly. His face balanced elegance and robustness, creating the image of someone who represented maturity and confidence. For Bel, that man aroused an immediate feeling of admiration, as if he were in the presence of the kind of person he would want to become in the future. More than his appearance, It was the aura that surrounded him that impressed. There was a sense of honesty and integrity about him that resembled the figure of a true knight. Instinctively, Bell realized that he was in the presence of someone extremely strong. Before any words were spoken, Balder and Hermes explained that this man knew the whole situation and that he would assume a special role, acting as a kind of tutor and support within the school district. Dressed in a dark uniform reminiscent of a teacher's attire, the man had details that reinforced his position. A golden crest was engraved on the sleeve, while at his waist he carried a small pouch with writing quills and a short wand, symbols of his academic function. Approaching calmly, he offered a serene smile and extended his hand, introducing himself as Leon Vardenberg. Still enveloped by the mixture of nervousness and fascination, Bell shook his hand, feeling the weight of that encounter officially marking the beginning of his new life. At that moment, he was no longer the adventurer known in Orario, nor the hero who was beginning to attract the world's attention. Within that place, he took his first step as Lappy Flemish, carrying with him the silent expectation of discovering new paths, learning about the world beyond the labyrinth, and perhaps, better understanding who he was truly becoming.